All right, everybody, we're back for another exploded figure review. This time we've got Maxillius the Harvester from the new Necronominous wave from Four Horsemen Studios. So let's take a look.
You best get ready, cause now it's time for Art by Akerman.
All right, so here we go. This is Maxillius the Harvester. This was one of my most anticipated figures that was coming from this Necronominous wave. It gives us several different looks. You've got the fully armored Maxillius with his incredible bio that we'll take a look at here in a second. You also have, where you can take kind of the armored parts off of this and then still make it into kind of like a Grim Reaper kind of look. And then you finally got just the bare bones skeleton. So this is kind of a look at it in package, as well as, kind of when you pull the trays out, what that looks like. And as far as the bio, it says here, before the Lord of Death appears, there is Maxillius the Harvester. Necronominous comes forth to raise the dead and grow his army, and the Harvester's job is to give his master fields of freshly reaped bodies to turn to his side. So I know the knock on this thing is that, kind of some of the excitement was taken away by the release of the Legion Builder 2 skeleton. People are saying, it's the same thing. I'm not as excited for this anymore. To that, I reply, actually, because you've got quite a bit of differences here, and I'm going to kind of discuss those first before I get into the actual breakdown. So here you have a Legion Builder 2 skeleton. So first things first, you can see the color is completely different. You've got more of kind of this lighter, almost white color with the Legion Builder skeleton versus this kind of yellowish bone. I don't know, kind of a more aged bone with the Maxillius the Harvester. You also have some different paint apps here. So if you look inside the rib cage and even kind of underneath, you've got this like kind of glossy, grungy, disgusting look underneath it here, where it's like, supposed to be kind of decayed, I guess, intestines and organs and stuff like that. So it's really gross underneath that rib cage. When compared to the Legion Builder 2 skeleton, it's just kind of same color as the bones inside. So it's like, completely empty of any of that grossness. So that is one difference other than the color. And then also you have on the head, these two heads look fairly similar, but the Legion Builder 2 skeleton has a articulated jaw, whereas this one does not. So those are kind of the differences in terms of the bare bones skeleton. But this thing has so much more and so much potential in it. So let's get into this. So starting out, you do have this kind of standard skeleton head. This is not the one that comes on the figure, but this is in the package. The one that comes on the figure is this guy here. And man, is this thing cool. It's got that like fused eye sockets where it really has no eyes. It's just really creepy looking. Like this is the stuff of nightmares, really. So, yeah, that's really neat. You can see the difference between these two. The teeth look a little whiter on this one as well. But yeah, that fused eye socket look is just really super creepy. And then on the back, or kind of the side, you see this kind of ridged area on the skull that's a little bit different. There's some kind of ridges that go from that fused section all the way to the back of the skull, and then even kind of up to the top. So it kind of goes around and then back up to the top. So just a cool sculpt overall, really super creepy. So there's that. On the rib cage, this is, pretty similar to what we've gotten on the, the Legion Builder 2, other than different paint apps. We've kind of already covered that. One piece to really be careful of on this is the neck. I've seen some people with the Legion Builder 2 skeleton where they've kind of tried to twist this. This neck It's not meant to come off of this torso. So you don't want to be twisting or grinding or anything like that on this, because that will snap. Sometimes the heads do have a little bit of a tight fit. In the instance of that happening, heat up the head to put it on, heat up the head to pop it off. Don't just go twisting and yanking this thing, because that's a good chance of breaking that neck peg. So going down into the arms, you see really nice little wash on here, as well as that kind of more yellowish bone color into the forearm, where we've got that double bone here on that, with kind of the split in the middle. Down into the hands. The hands is a horizontal grip, or horizontal joint with a gripping hand on here. Same thing on both sides. You do get an extra set of hands in here, which are double pointing finger hands. So you can give a couple, two-gun salutes, or, do the Spider-Man posing, pointing fingers at each other. You got some of those options there. Going down a little bit further, you can see you got the legs here, the upper legs that pop right into the pelvis. And there's no separate piece. A lot of times on the 1.0s, there's like a separate kind of hip piece that plugs into the thigh. On these skeletons, it doesn't have that. So it's just the one solid upper leg piece that goes right into the pelvis. On the lower leg, you've got your little kneecap there, and then you've got the bone here, and then this extra bone on the side. So you can see a lot of attention to detail on here. I know Treadaway spent a lot of time just kind of examining, bones and stuff like that, like researching when he was putting this together, because we've had this part for a long time, this upper leg. But this lower leg is fairly new, and it's just a really cool design. I like the attention to detail on here. Looks really neat. Okay, the pelvis here, you've got, this actually pops into the abdomen. It's a little bit different than what we normally have. So normally we have like a ball joint down here that plugs into the torso. This thing, because of the way that it's constructed, has the spine that goes up with this ball joint up top that is up here. So once again, it's just kind of like the other piece. You don't want to go twisting it down in this section. This piece will come out if you wanted it to, but it's not something that's meant to pop out. It has, they've got it tacked in with a little bit of glue, but it's manufactured as two separate pieces. So this is one piece, and then I believe it's on this junction right here. Let's see if I get my X-Acto knife. I believe it's right here, where this is a completely separate piece from that, and then they're glued together at this section here. So if you wanted to pull that apart, you can, but that, like I said, it is glued in there. Next, on my forehead here, you got his coccyx. So you got the little tailbone, and that plugs into the skeleton boom hole in the back. So once again, nice little attention to detail with that tailbone as a separate piece. We'll put that coccyx right back on my face. Then you've got the skeletal feet. This time I did take the ankle joints out. I know that's something I haven't been doing. Some people have been giving me some trouble on that. So I did pull the ankle joints out of this just so you can see what they look like without. I've called this out in some other videos, but something to be aware of on these parts. Most, if not all of these, when it's on, like a leg or arm or something, when you look inside the pieces, you'll see these like R's and L's. So I'm not sure if you can see that here, but this one has an R in it. This one has an L in it. So if for some reason you get confused on whether it's left or right, then you'll know. And when it says R or L, it's saying that it's the figures right or the figures left, all right? It's in there, like, because they don't know whether you're looking at it this way or that way or whatever, so they don't know whether you're looking at it on the right side or left side, but it's the figures right, figures left. And then here are the ankle joints. So, I mean, no difference from any other ankle joints that we've got on a 1.0, so pretty standard. You do have this cool little hourglass thing that he keeps. So it's got a nice handle on here. Yeah, he can just kind of carry that around with him. But this is just really cool looking. I love the metal here into this kind of reddish metallic. You got the gold in the top and bottom. Yeah, this is just really super nice. Probably a matter of time till somebody like drills a hole in here and puts some sort of light in there. Looking at you, Carver Customs. But yeah, that's really cool piece. I like that a lot. This is a new piece that we haven't had before, so that's cool. Next, so you've got this robe, which I love. This thing, I am so excited for this. So any of you that are like, oh, well, we already got the Legion Builder 2 skeleton, blah, blah, blah. Yes, you did. If you all you were looking for is a barebone skeleton, you already have it. You've got it in the graveyard that's coming too. But this soft good piece is going to be amazing. I'm going to show you some stuff with this later. But I've got some really cool ideas for this. I love this piece of soft good. So it is a fully covered robe. It's all one piece. It is a thinner material than what we're used to seeing, so you can kind of see through it. It's a real thin kind of material, but I think that's intentional. Like, that's how this is supposed to look. It does have the attached hood. It's all sewn together. It does have wire around the sleeves and wire around the opening to the hood and some holes in the back so that you could attach pauldrons or some sort of, wings or back piece or whatever. With those holes, you have this piece, which is, man, this thing is just amazing. So these plug into the back ports like pauldrons would and go over the top of the figure, like over the shoulders. And you've just got this cool, like really gross, veiny blood stuff and what looks like jawbones here. And then turn into the back, you've got like inside this, like, I guess like a rib cage, you've got a bunch of like really like reddish blood material with a dark wash in there that brings it out and makes it look really disgusting as you look at it. So that part is like super gross. And then you've got these beautiful wings, these beautiful red wings coming off of it. So you get that disgusting blood and gore and everything into these beautiful wings on the back. And man, this is just a cool piece. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure what was going through Eric's brain as he was sculpting this, but this thing is just amazing. I love it. So another cool piece that you don't get with that Legion Builder skeleton. Then over here, you've got this cool, like, armored thing that he wears around his neck. It does have a metal chain that is metal into this plastic piece here with a bunch of bones and just cool stuff. So, once again, like the robe, definitely could get a lot of use out of this. If you're trying to make a witch doctor or something, I think this would be excellent for that. I think this would look good on some orcs. If you wanted to throw this on an orc, I think this would look pretty cool. But yeah, this thing is just really neat. And it's a very like bendy, soft material, similar to like the loin or the waist pieces. It does have some thin parts in here, so I would just be kind of careful because like here, it's just this ring part here that's holding this together. So you don't want to be too crazy with it. It looks like this piece here is also kind of not attached. Like it's only attached at the spot in the middle. So there's some stuff hanging off, so you just want to kind of be careful with that, but it is a flexi bendable material. So I don't anticipate any snaps or anything, but you just don't want to rip it. Also with these kind of thinner plastic materials, you want to watch out for heating this up, especially with a heat gun or a hairdryer. If you're going and heating up the figure, you might want to not have this on there because, these little thin pieces, you heat that up too much and poof, it's just going to be gone. So there's that. And then you have this huge scythe. Wow, this thing's super cool. So yeah, it's got a handle on here. You can hold it down at the other end. And man, this thing is just really gruesome, cool looking. So yeah, so that is the figure. That's everything that we get with it. I do have a couple things that I would like to try and show you. But first we'll show kind of a putting this back together, fast motion kind of thing. The way that I would do this if I'm starting with it all like this apart, what I would probably do is do the feet, ankles, lower legs, upper legs, pelvis, put that together, pop that into the torso, then put the robe on, and then put the arms in after the robe's on. Same thing with the head, and then put this piece in last, and kind of go from there. So one more thing I forgot to call out. This is the rope that comes around the waist, and I didn't untie it completely because I thought it was cool how they did this. So they did like a little, kind of just a regular loop knot here, right? That you would tie, and then they put this around the waist. So they put this like this, and then slid this in through there, right? And then tightened this up. So I thought that was kind of a cool way to do it. So instead of tying these two together just like that and trying to do a double knot or something, they tied this piece to itself and then slid this through it and then tightened it up around it, which cinches it real nice, but it also makes it to where you can get it off pretty easily. So I left that like that to show you guys. But it's time now. I will put this together back in fast motion, and then we're going to look at, some different things that we can do with this stuff. So first, let's go ahead and get ready for fast motion. Okay, had to stop the fast motion for a second because as I'm putting the torso back on here, I'm noticing that it's very tight. As I'm trying to turn and stuff, it's really trying to stick, and I don't want it to snap down here. So I'm going to put a little shock oil in here, and I don't think I have the bottle up here, but it's a stuff called shock oil. I put it in one of these bottles that has like this little needle top, so that I can just use a drop or two. But I'll see if I can throw the link into the description for Amazon. And I'm just gonna put like a drop or two in here. And then when I pop that in, I'm gonna work it around, and that's gonna help kind of lessen some of that tension in there. So this is still pretty warm from when I just heated it up. I'm gonna pop that in there. And now you can see I got a lot more movement on there, and I think I did one extra drop than what I needed to, so I'm gonna wipe some of that off, and let's grab one of these little guys, just get some of that out of there because I think I might have just a little too much. But yeah, then I'm gonna pop that back in, and you can see now I've got good movement on here without all that squeaking and tearing and stuff. So all right, with that being said, let's get back to fast motion. So here's the figure all put together. Man, this is just a super cool figure. If you were just looking for a bare bone skeleton, yeah, there's some other ways for you to get it between the Legion Builder 2 skeleton and the graveyard. But man, this thing is super neat. The necklace here, a lot of uses for that. This back piece with these beautiful wings. You've got this hourglass, the scythe, this really cool head with the fused eyes. And then the best part for me is these robes. I think that these robes are gonna make for some really awesome things. So with that being said, let me show you a couple things that I was thinking about doing with these and see what you guys think. Okay, so this next part is going to contain a little bit of a spoiler in case you haven't opened up the Ghost of Christmas Past yet. So if you haven't and you want to know what that surprise is and you don't want to be spoiled, you probably should stop now. But most of you, if you're into this stuff, have already probably seen it. So here we go. So what I've done is I've taken a white hairpiece from that Ghost of Christmas Past and I fed it through the robe here. So the back part of the hairpiece is inside the robe, the front part is hanging out. And then what I'm going to do is pop that surprise head onto this torso. Now, one thing with this head is a 2.0 and the neck peg is a 1.0, but I just heated the ever-living crap out of this to the point where it would actually fit on here. And then I'm just gonna feed this up through here and into that headpiece. So actually, you know what? I'm gonna change my mind on that. I think I'm gonna put the head in first and then just feed the torso and neck through there. So let me get this head into that. And what we're doing here is we're just making a wraith. Let me get this together and then I'll show you kind of what that's gonna look like. So gotta feed this around that hair that I've put in there and get it to come up through the top. So it takes a little bit of finagling. Normally I would just show you this after the fact, like show you what it looks like. But it's gonna take a little work to get it in there. So I just wanted to, film this. That way if somebody wanted to see kind of how that went together, how that happened, you've got that. So at this point I can see the neck is starting to come out the top and there we go. I've just popped that in there. So now we've got the neck attached. And then I'm gonna put these arms back in and I am gonna use the skeleton arms because I think it's gonna be creepy and cool to have, that big screaming head with these skeletal arms coming off of this. So let me pop those in. Okay, and then I'm actually going to switch out these hands, and I'm going to get into the skeletal hands pack that we've gotten, which I haven't opened yet. So let me go grab that, and I will be right back and continue with this one. Okay, so a little bonus for you guys. This is the skeleton hands and feet pack. We're going to take a look at this real quick. So you've got a couple extra feet in here. You got a couple sets of feet. You've got some extra hands with some gripping, some reaching out with really long fingers. You've got some gripping hands with horizontal, gripping hands with vertical. You've got your pointer fingers. So we're going for these like long, creepy fingered ones. And we're going to attach these to her. So let's get these on here. And actually, you know what? I think we're going to go with one of those, and then we'll go with one of the pointing fingers that we had here with Maxillius. So there you go. So we'll kind of do like this. Like she's pointing, she's screaming. And at this one, she's gonna reach out and like she's trying to grab them. And then I'm not going to use a lower body on this. I am going to use one of the Mythic Legion stands here. So I'm gonna try to prop her up with the stand, see what kind of looks we can get. I'll get you some pictures and we'll go from there. All right, so here is the Wraith that I came up with. So once again, this is using, Maxillius torso, arms, one of the hands from the skeleton hands pack, that Ghost of Christmas Past head and hair, and then put on a Mythic Legion stand. So one thing with this is that the bottom of that is not wired. So here's what we did. Because it doesn't have a wired bottom part on that robe, I just ran one of the ties from the box that holds the figure in place, ran it through the lower ribs on here, and then I used that to pose the robe. So just a little trick, like if you're not gonna see what's under the robe anyway, these wire ties work well for doing that. And then once again, this is what it looked like afterwards. So I just, after those wires were through those ribs, I just bent them backwards to hold that robe in place. And next we have a monk that I used the Gaspar body and Brother Xavier head from the Legion's Con 2-pack and just put that robe on it. And this is a build that I've been wanting to do ever since I first saw Maxillius at the G-Con reveal. Those robes I thought would be perfect for making monks. And I tell you what, I could not be more pleased with how this came out. In this one here, he is holding that book, which is from the Jacob Marley set, the original. And then, like I said, it's that Gaspar body with Brother Xavier head, and then the robe from Maxillius. So that came out awesome. I can't wait to make more monks. I bought several Maxillius just for that. So more monks coming. All right, finally here we've got this Orc Shaman, Witch Doctor, whatever you want to call it. And basically I just took the male deluxe Orc from the War of the Aetherblade pack and added in that back piece from Maxillius, as well as that, you know, big necklace kind of thing in the front. You know, the weapons that he had, the bone color on the weapons almost matched with the Maxillius. It worked out really well. So I think this guy looks pretty brutal and scary. I wouldn't want to come across him. So just another kind of cool look that you can get with these parts. All right, folks, that is Maxillius the Harvester, as well as a couple swaps that I did with those robes. Man, I love those robes. They are fantastic. Here is my Wraith that I put together. I ordered extras of this figure just really for the robes. You got to remember, when this thing was first pre-ordered, $37 figure. Where are you going to find those soft goods for, you know, $30 or less? Plus you get the figure and all that extra stuff with it. So fantastic. Love this. I love the monk look that I came up with. Super excited for these robes. So, you know, like I said before, if you just were like, hey, I just wanted the bare bones skeletons and I've already got those other ways, that's cool. But I'm telling you, there's a lot more to this thing. Between those soft goods, these wings, this attachment, like, this is crazy. This, if you're gonna do a witch doctor character or an orc, you know, like that orc that we looked at, this scythe here, dude, just crazy amount of cool stuff. So if you haven't picked this up yet, go and pick one up. They are available for retailers now. My preferred retailer, as you all know, is Wolf King Customs. If you go to Wolf King Customs, you buy one of these figures from Necronominus, you get a bonus head with it that's made specifically for that character. So if you're a customizer, and let's face it, you wouldn't be watching this if you weren't, go to Wolf King Customs, get one of these figures, get a bonus head, and let's see what you can come up with. So until next time, keep creating, folks.